Excellent. So, similar topic in a sense. We're talking about sort of this mixture of satellite and cellular networks. And I'll have Shahbaz introduce himself, and then my new friend, who I've just met, will introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shahbaz Ali. I'm heading products at Sateliot. We are building the world's first 5G narrowband IoT LEO constellation. So we are really excited to be in this business.
Yeah, I'm Javier Zorzano. I'm head of technology at Telefonica Tech, IoT and Big Data. I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm especially happy that you're here.
Yeah, so this is all happiness.
Yeah.
So we have two Spanish companies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right, which is kind of cool if you think about it in the host country. So thank you again for joining me. If you saw my prior panel, similar set of issues, similar questions. First of all, you guys have a partnership.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the partnership. Why this partnership?
Okay. So how we see this partnership, we really believe in the value of choosing the right partnership on this ecosystem. As Telefonica is one of our premium partners, we really value this. The IoT overall ecosystem, the value chain is mostly fragmented. So in this case, choosing the right partner, which is willing to work on a standard solution, is really encouraging. So we really thank Telefonica to be part of this journey by building a fully standard end-to-end solution for the industry, and we really value this.
Yes, from our side, again, standardization is key. We have seen in the past many new technologies coming to the field, and it can take a new technology between 3 to 5 years to be really available commercially. So standardization, being aligned with the current standards, with our current structure of connectivity, is very important, and that's something that is also very important for Sateliot. For us, it is as simple as having a roaming agreement in the sky.
So if I'm a device maker, we'll use that example. It's one SIM.
Yeah.
And it runs on your platform, and my device is on your network, on your estate, fine. But all of a sudden it goes into the boonies, which is maybe an American word, but goes off into the middle of nowhere. Then what happens? How does it switch off? How do you handle that?
It will just
seamless.
Roam to a new PLMN.
That's it.
That for the device is and shall be just roaming. And that's what we think is very, very important. We have millions of devices moving all over the world, roaming, and we know that they need to have the same, say, user experience as far as the device is a user.
So is there, for the existing installed base, you have millions of IoT devices out there. This is just another roaming partner in effect, is that correct?
Yeah, but, well,
so all of a sudden, all of my asset trackers that are out there, let's say, have access to the satellite?
Well, more than possibly, they will have to have modules. As we are in B2B, everything are modules. They will have modules that are compatible both with the terrestrial and satellite.
So you need to start with a brand new deployment with the right set of modules.
Yeah, it will be the thing to...
And then at that point, you don't care what the network is. It's in the sky. It's off a cell tower. You don't care. So you talked about standards. And again, we've seen a lot of satellite things. Is there a level of fragmentation at this point?
So in terms of the standardization, I think if you follow 3GPP release 17, which is even in this MWC, we have seen lots of talks and lots of companies talking about it. So now the standardization is working on. Companies, the module manufacturers, chipset manufacturers, you have seen lots of announcements from companies. Now, I think the company and the companies are moving, and the industry is moving to the right direction. Right. What standardization can bring is like affordability, scalability, and it will reduce the friction to adopt the technology. So this is the power of standardization. And if we compare to the legacy proprietary solutions to the standard ones, so I believe this is now the way to go.
So just from the commercial standpoint, if I'm out in the field, let's say I'm one of your enterprise guys, this is just, it's just a part of the contract. Is that the case?
Yeah.
And roughly speaking, I'm not obviously asking for pricing, but similar pricing to roaming, or a lot more, a lot different?
Well, that is something that I think, I mean, from the technical side, we know that
From the technical side, he doesn't care.
No. It is important. It is key, really, but it is something that we are working on.
Because I can imagine the commercials would would have its own level of complexity.
From my perspective, what I see, it would be simple.
Right.
It would be simple because it's based on standard. It will be affordable. If we compare the technologies, it will be affordable as compared to the existing solutions available in the market, and which sometimes an overkill for a narrowband IoT, low power device using a LTE network. It's an overkill, and the end customer is paying very heavy costs. So from that perspective, this would be an affordable, same channel, same contract, same invoicing, customers of Telefonica enjoying seamless coverage globally.
And from your company's perspective, they're the sales channel.
Yes, so they are the reach. It's their customer.
It's their customer.
Ultimately served by us through a simplified roaming contract.
That's excellent. That simplifies matters, I think, for global accounts.
Yes, there we know that, of course, having this global reach, because we are changing from saying, okay, we can give you coverage in the city areas of these countries. Now there is no limit to coverage,
right?
And that really deserves a premium. On the other hand, we know that the IoT market is in B2B is usually very, very cost sensitive. So we have to be careful there to give people. Possibly we'll have to begin with the fields, with the use cases where this globality adds the most value.
So we'll get more into use cases in a second. How much of a cost burden on the BOM, on the bill of materials, do you think adding this capability adds for a device maker? Is it significant? Is it just different, slightly different module?
Should be minor. And as far as we have talked with manufacturers, with component providers, should be minor or even zero. But of course, always set the first batches in a technology, because they have engineering, certification, testing, may have some extra cost in the BOM. Once we have the first 1 million units project in the field, these costs really disappear, and then you have...
and is it the same testing regime, PTCRB or whatever?
We are working actively to have it that way, to integrate into the GCF framework.
If I'm a device builder, again, if I'm an IoT manufacturer of whatever, asset trackers, for me, it's the same exact process, same certification, homologation process.
Yes.
Everything's the same.
We are working there, and with GCF. And
yes.
I didn't prepare you for these questions, but...
No, but it's super interesting.
All the certification bodies will be the same. Now we are working with the whole ecosystem to define, because this is new. This is new for the industry. This is new for the ecosystem. So NTN, they are working on building the standard test cases, what needs to be done. We are working with all of the chipset module manufacturers and also the certification bodies to define. Let's sit together and define all those test cases to make it simplified. And of course, it's a matter of time. It will be the same simplified process for a device manufacturer to get it,
And aside from that, then in the Telefonica side, we are assimilating the testing and certification process to the testing and certification process of any other cellular module. Particularly, for example, so we are preparing the pre-test process where we help the manufacturer to integrate the module.
So you would have like a lab or some other
we have
outreach.
We do that. And then we have a formal certification process where Telefonica will commit to the behavior, to integrate, to connect that device through, in that case, through the roaming agreement with Sateliot.
Again, this may seem off topic, but how do you educate both the channel and the enterprise customer or the industrial customer, as well as your internal, since you've got the sales burden, how are you educating them on this internally?
This is really a challenge. Coming from the experience, we have the experience of NB-IoT and LTM, and we had the technology very, very quickly ready. In fact, I was demonstrating that technology 5 years ago here in Barcelona, and the challenge was to take it to the customers. I think we have generally taken a two-pronged approach. One of them is, OK, engineer by engineer approach, taking them to the lab, showing them the tricks. Finally, you have these 5, 6 parameters that make the technology. So showing them how to do that. On the other hand, you have, I think, the flagship projects. Those huge projects that are seen either because they are very big or very visible, and they make the market aware of what you're doing, of the capabilities, that they really lighten the mind of the customer.
How are you assisting in that process? Are you joining them in the lab? Are you joining them with developer days, hackathons, all that stuff?
Yeah, so we are closely working with Telefonica on this front, like specifically on the technology side, setting up all the required parameters, required tests that we need to do from the network side, from the space. So we are assisting and working closely with the teams. Yeah.
So everybody has to set priorities. What's your first priority set of verticals? You want to showcase the partnership, showcase the technology, showcase an integrated solution. What are your first 2 or 3 use cases that you're hoping to see come out?
Yeah, so from our side, what we see, the value, real value for narrowband IoT use cases are maritime, agriculture, forestry, environmental. These are those use cases where there is a need. There is a specific requirement from the customer who are currently either paying a very costly subscriptions, or they are willing to shift, and they have a technological need to adopt to this technology. And I believe we are working with the Telefonica on specifically alignment of the verticals, and we are following the same.
So from a Telefonica perspective?
Yes, we see it aligned. We have a set of priorities now, and we see that NTN will benefit both of them, for example, in their case, asset tracking or fleet management, and on the other hand, also all the part in metering. Metering, because we can take metering to rural areas, but we can open new priority cases. For example, telemetry for environmental purposes, energy management. These are things that are now open that we could not attend before.
Are there consumer use cases that you want to prioritize?
Particularly, our part of the company is more in B2B, but we know that consumer is also a nice field for.
Fitness bands, anything like that you're looking at?
Yeah.
Not as interesting for hardcore IoT guys like me, but.
Yeah. But those are fields that are also relevant in the consumer areas with all the consumer
This is excellent.
issues.
So we have 30 seconds left, and I like to land the ship on time. Why don't we have a quick final thought from each of you, and then we'll close out our panel. And Shahbaz, you didn't have to carry the weight all by yourself, so this is great.
Yeah.
So Shahbaz, last word.
So last word is this, that we as an industry, we as an ecosystem, all players should come forward to speed up the adoption of the massive IoT through standardization. So we encourage everyone on the ecosystem, right from the chip manufacturers, module manufacturers, MNOs, MVNOs, satellite operators to join this journey and to encourage the adoption of the massive IoT through standardization. This is the scale.
You get fewer last words because we're already over time.
Well, just say we have reached the end of this screen in Narrowband IoT. We are launching million projects with millions of units. Now we are in the next. We see the next step. We are crossing the door, and the next step is giving really global, everywhere access to the network, and that is the step we are taking now.
That's perfect. I do want to thank my panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I want to thank our hosts. I want to thank our audience. Great AV guys in the back. I want to thank the GSMA. Thanks for paying attention. If you want to talk to these guys, they'll be de-miking in the back, so feel free to go up and introduce yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.